Okay, well then in the interest of a few of you at least, I'll do like a brief spiel about Foresight. So Foresight Institute has existed since 1986, so that's really been quite some time, and we've focused since the early days on really pushing ambitious science and technology development forward. And so we're a nonprofit, we're based in the Bay Area, and we specifically focus on science and tech that is perhaps too ambitious, too interdisciplinary, too niche for legacy funders to support. And so we do that through a few different programs. So we have, for example, events like Vision Weekend, which is our annual festival. We have grants in various different areas. We have a fellowship program, and we have many of our space fellows here. And we have these technical workshops, of which you are at one of them. And the areas that we mostly focus on are those over here. So space is one of them, but we also focus on intelligent cooperation. That's our word for decentralized secure AI, molecular machines, that's molecular nanotechnology, neurotechnology, longevity biotechnology, space, and existential hope. And so in all of these different verticals, I guess, we have these fellowships, prizes, grants, and so forth. So if you're interested in any of the other areas, I also welcome you to check it out. But space has been really at the forefront of our minds for a long time. So if you look at this slide from a while ago, which I found in an Extropy magazine from 1995, you can see a few early folks interested in the future, including Drexler, who was one of our co-founders, predicting on space-related progress. And you can tell, I think, if anything, that people were quite ambitious, and perhaps we have slacked a bit in terms of progress. People were quite over-optimistic about what could happen, or at least, if you frame it differently, we haven't really quite gotten around to produce all the things that people thought we had by now. And so there's another one of those here. This is one of the first prediction markets that was run, I guess, in person at our 1999 Foresight gathering, where people literally sent checks to our offices to bet on futures, which I guess we had an illegal gambling studio, one could say. I was not affiliated with it back then, no, but I think it was really trying to put your money where your mouth is on predicting when are specific technologies coming online. And there's a few and a variety of them, but one is, for example, SpaceX price won by 2010. And so people within the Foresight community have had a really long standing interest in space. And I think that, if we can take one thing away from that, is really that perhaps our future in space is not as ambitious as it seemed perhaps back then. And so we were really interested in figuring out what's happening in space futures, and not only what's happening in space futures, but also what are the legal, what are the policy, what are the governance considerations, what are the accessibility considerations, sustainability considerations, all of these things that we need to figure out as we're moving into space, hopefully with renewed energy, figuratively and quite literally. And I think that over years the interest in space has definitely sped up a lot, thanks to the work of all of you guys, honestly. So thank you so much for what you've done for the field. But we really want to figure out at this workshop not only what are the science and technological capabilities, but also what are some of the governance and legal considerations that we have to maybe address early on to make sure that our future in space remains peaceful, sustainable, and just flourishing for all. So we're really excited to have you here for this workshop. There's no other org that we could have possibly hoped to partner with that is perhaps more really working on these fields, especially on the lunar part of them, than Open Lunar. And so I would just really want to thank everyone from Open Lunar, all of you guys that are here as our fellows, for joining us here today. I think you guys really brought much of the legal expertise that we're hopefully going to draw on a lot today and tomorrow. Okay, so what are the goals for this workshop? We have three larger goals. One is, really just learning about new frontiers that are opened up by space, science, and technology. And we're going to start with that in just a second with a few talks. We also really want to explore the legal, economic, and social challenges and opportunities that are opened up by these innovations. And then finally, we want to develop project prototypes that really harness these factors for flourishing future in space. And so after each session block of talks, you will always have a workshop block. And so this is mostly about getting you guys to talk to each other. And usually what happens at these workshops, there are usually little project proposals created. Sometimes we have development grants for them. If you get excited about something that you want to work on post-workshop with people here, there's a lot of support from our end to help you, enable you to do that. So, if it's that you're networking and finding someone that you want to work with, great. If it is that you have a new idea of a field that you haven't really looked into within space, awesome. But if it is that you actually come up with a project proposal that you guys want to kind of like take forward after the workshop, we're very game to help you. So really take this seriously, and great things have come out of these workshops already. And yeah, I really want to encourage you to take that seriously. Okay, let's see. Now, how are we going to do this? So the first bit, I guess, is the introductions. Who here has filled out the introductions doc already? It's many of you guys. Okay, so this is just to say that if you really want to meet someone, chances are they will have filled in their introduction here already. Feel free, if you haven't done so yet, to, over the course of the next 2 days, add your profile to it. There's a bunch of people already on here, and I can't tell you how useful these docs are. Oftentimes we have people even years later, I see people online in these docs, and people update them still years later. So it's really quite useful, especially to figure out who you might want to collaborate with, after this workshop on projects that you guys are already working on. So I want to encourage you to take that seriously, and I'm going to drop all of these links again in our WhatsApp group. Then the second one that I want to focus on a bit now is the program. So many of you are here online already. I love that. This is a pretty interactive program. It's a draft. There might be some reshufflings based on sessions that might be proposed or so forth. So thanks, Antonio, for already doing the first bit of that. But the way that we're hoping to get to these project ideas or project seeds is by this kind of multi-tiered approach where we have always different talk blocks. So we're going to start in just a second, really, with the first row of talks on science and innovation. They're going to be really brief. So idea is 7-minute talk, 3 minutes Q&A, but definitely not more than 10 minutes in total. And I'll be doing German timekeeping over here. So I will nudge you along, and I'll give you a 1-minute warning. But we're going to have a short session of talks always on a specific topic. I tried to group them as best as I could. It wasn't always perfect. And then after each of the talking blocks, you guys and your different tables have about 40 minutes, sometimes more, sometimes less, to figure out, okay, well, what are a few good ideas in that space? What is happening in space innovation and science right now? How can we move this field forward? I'll tell you a little bit about the workshop algorithm once we get there. But really that you guys get a chance to talk to each other, digesting the talks, but also bringing in your own perspective. You're going to have some notepads. You're going to produce some sticky pad bits that we're going to hang out on the wall. And then we're going to do the same all over again after taking lunch in a group photo outside. We're going to have another row of science and innovation talks, and again generate a few ideas of how to make progress on these bits based on a few questions. And then we're going to have a few sustainability talks. We're going to do the same again. And so it's really about all of you guys always kind of swarming in on one topic and bring your individual expertise to that specific topic. And a final workshop. Then at the end of today, we're going to kind of take all the sticky pads that you guys created in the individual little breakouts, and we're going to create a few proposals or project seeds from that, of a short list of those that you guys are really excited about. So you have a lot of time to kind of first zoom out and then zoom in on a few bits that you really care about collectively. And then tomorrow we're going to do the same all over again. So tomorrow it's going to be about lunar and energy, and about lunar and economics. And then we're going to move all the way out to risks and policy talks, ending all the way with space governance in the age of artificial general intelligence. So we're going to start from, well, I guess we're going to start with a session that even has whiskey in space. So I guess we're going to start futuristically and end futuristically, and hopefully have something that is actually about how to get us from here to there in the middle of the whole workshop. So it's really quite packed, but I'm hoping that we make it really fun for you guys. So if you have any requests about how we can do this better, if you want to propose another session for the evening or anything like that, just find us. This is a menu that you can choose from, so that there's something for everyone in there, but this is about you guys getting to work with each other, okay? We're only here to facilitate that. Okay, cool. Well, I think that is about it. Maybe I'll leave the slide open for one more second in case you would like to access any of the docs that I mentioned. The first one is the introductions doc. The second one is the program, and the third one is the WhatsApp group for those of you who want just stay in touch with people at the workshop and who want updates about the program. Let me know if anyone needs more time Oh, great. Okay, you got it. Okay, are there any questions at this point? Okay, well, you have a test run in the next session, and then if you have questions about like how to do this better, we can definitely get into it. But usually after the first round of these like short mini workshop sprints, you get the hang of it, and it's going to be fun, I promise. Okay, no questions, comments? Cool, good. Okay, well then I guess we can get started. We are a minute early. My German heart is delighting. I'm so happy. Okay, well then, without further ado, let's break into the first round, which are on science innovation talks. And I think Victor is our first speaker.